Exiting the Matrix Empowered Living Mastery Course lives, where I am going through, and I know these are backward, but these are books that I wrote when I was in a very high dimensional state of mind, because I have a lot of compassion for humanity and what is going on in the world for people. And honestly, I just want to take a moment of silence. And when I'm meditating, I'm literally hugging the entire planet. Try to do it with me, or do it with me. If you are suffering, if you are experiencing hardship, know that there are people who care about you, even if I don't know you. Love is universal. It sees no barriers. And I am sending a whole bunch of love to you. This course, this course is actually a very good way to get centered, because with all of the chaos that's happening in the world, and right now, because it's the beginning of 2026, there's a lot of energy for New Year's resolutions, and then what do they say? You never follow through. This course will actually help you follow through, because it's step by step by step. So the first two videos, you know, just kind of letting you figure, like, feel comfortable with me, I guess, and like understand that there is a process. Like, it's gonna go, like, okay, it's not that heavy, then it's gonna go, because we go from like, okay, here's the basics, and then it goes to personal core dimension. Well, right now we're going to get into term definitions that are the foundation for this course, and then the matrix and socialization, which is key. So that's just like understanding what the whole foundation is, and then we get into spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, sexual, relational, behavioral, financial, and legal. So it kind of goes, oh, emotional's going to be the tough one. Mental probably, and then emotional. And then it's going to taper down. Okay, that's kind of the course. So that's what you can expect. And I just want to let you know that I updated the description. So now you can actually, hi everybody, you can actually get the online course for free, and you can do it at your own pace. You can do it along with us, but you're not alone. I'm here to support this community and making the world a better place. That is my purpose, raising the vibration on this planet. So also, this is my autobiography. If you want to know of my history, and like I said, like, I'm an author. I wrote all these books, and I have a lot of passion for making the world a better place. I want to save the world. But I can't do it by myself. Obviously. So I had to save my own world, which I did. And now I want to help other people. And I'm finally able to, like, feel comfortable on camera when there's nobody actually standing here to talk to. I'm imagining my children. Hi. You are here. So I'm going to get into, I'm going to get into the term definitions, and then the matrix and socialization. So, term definitions. Now we will go over some of the terms that are being presented to you. Self-actualization, exiting the matrix, core dimension capabilities, true self-actualization, and hierarchy of needs theory. Oops, hold on. the origin of self-actualization. What does the psychological term self-actualization really mean? Dictionary.com's definition is the achievement of one's full potential through creativity, independence, spontaneity, and a grasp of the real world. According to Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory, written in 1943, reaching self-actualization is a process of developing to one's fullest potential based on reaching one's needs in a certain order to become everything that one is capable of becoming as long as lower needs are fulfilled. It is becoming as close to your ideal self. I am real. Yes, I am real. Where was I? As you are capable. Okay. The hierarchy of needs theory assumes that lower needs must be satisfied, which, okay, it gets in, before an individual can focus on higher needs. The original hierarchy of needs is made up of these 5 needs in order. Basic needs, like having a house, a roof over your head, having what you need. Belongingness, love needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization needs. I actually disagree with this theory, because it is possible to work on multiple aspects of oneself simultaneously, and lower needs do not necessarily have to be satisfied to work on higher needs. Thus sprouted the Core Self Inventory, which I created in 2009 to help me get out of major depression and a lot of trauma that I was experiencing and reach my goals. So understanding true self-actualization, true self-actualization has 2 meanings that go hand in hand. Being your true self. So am I real? Yes, I am my true self. It's the act of becoming fully authentic. Self-actualizing means you are becoming more self-actualized or self-realizing. So being authentic or being your true self means you're becoming closer and closer to becoming or being fully self-actualized. When we are not true to ourselves in any way, roadblocks will prevent us from progressing to our fullest, truest potential. Understanding this concept is the first step to becoming the most you can be and getting the most out of life that is possible for you. Often, we can become the roadblock that keeps us from who we want to be and what we want to experience in this life due to our belief system, which is key. Your beliefs rule your world. Introspecting will help you break free from everything you are willing to let go of that is holding you back. Self-actualization is the process of becoming the best version of yourself possible toward reaching your truest, highest potential. This process is closely related to becoming a lifelong learner, but it also includes the intent of self-analyzation or deep introspection to better oneself in all of the CDCs based upon your standards. And I'm going to tell you right now, when I was 18 years old, well, even 17, whatever, I felt like I had a learning disability because I would read something, I'd be reading it, and I'm like, I don't understand. So I thought I had comprehension issues. And the reality is that I didn't. Does it look like I have comprehension issues? No, I had to develop my brain because it's a muscle. And we get into that in the mental core dimension because it's extremely important to understand that your brain is extremely powerful. And if you're not working this muscle, like your arm muscles, okay? If you're not working this muscle, do you think that it's going to do what you want it to do? No. So, personal assessment. How does one know if they are self-actualizing or are self-actualized? It is important to recognize that only you can conclude whether you are self-actualizing or have self-actualized. Learning and understanding what it is will help you determine where you are in this regard. This is because your human experience is a personal, individual journey. Therefore, it is a personal conviction. This course will encourage you to see that the only opinion of you that matters in the grand scheme of things is your own opinion of yourself. This is equally true for both religious and non-religious people because human beings ultimately base their opinions of themselves on a set of standards that they choose to live by. Be cautious of what you believe about yourself, and if you doubt how amazing and powerful you are, you will be reminded throughout this course. You're hilarious. Simply put, if you believe in God or not, you adhere to standards that you willingly place upon yourself. What am I doing? Hi, Alan. I am trying to save the world. No, I mean, I would love to, but I'm sharing this course. I'm going through this whole course that I wrote for free. And the course is online. It's a personal development course that can help you in every single way. Like, our educational system is not helping. Look at what they're doing in education, like with just the whole thing since it started, actually. Simply put, if you believe in God or not, you adhere to standards that you willingly place upon yourself, and you will base your opinions of yourself against those standards. This coursework takes a neutral stand on religious choices and beliefs. However, reference to religious matters is being mentioned here for clarification, for religious individuals understand that this course does not ignore their truth, but aims to help them realize certain truths that they may not have been taught or forgot. I have an avid Bible-trained conscience. I studied for 13 years every day. And I can quote scriptures if you want me to. But I also recognize that not everybody wants to hear about the Bible. And the Bible has a lot of good information, but religions have basically twisted things. And so at one time I couldn't even stand hearing the Bible. But so being self-actualized is evident by knowing who you are, knowing what your purpose is, understanding why you do what you do and or did what you did, by how true you are to yourself and others, by your level of self-worth and self-confidence, by excelling in the core dimensions that I mentioned earlier. There's 10. One's level of overall satisfaction in life, regardless of their situation or past experiences, and in the realization of making all your dreams come true, which is true for you. I am not self-actualized. I do not know who I am, what my purpose is, or what I want to do with my life. That's one. I am self-actualizing. I am becoming the best version of myself possible. I am self-actualized. I have reached my highest, truest potential. And what I will say is that a lot of people are in the second one. Okay, now we're moving on to chapter 1. This is the matrix and socialization. The meaning behind exiting the matrix. And here we go, because that's the name of the book. You think of a movie, right? I'm not even trying to go that far. However, that could be the next book I write. This is just basic. This is just basic to, like, because our educational system does not teach what we need, we can't even blame our grandparents or our parents or religion or anybody, because nobody's really been taught a lot of things. And like what I did when I was trying to heal from major depression, I was true to myself, and I just kept searching. I'm a highly, deeply introspective person. I'm an Aquarius, and I've been introspecting since I can remember, okay? So, like, deep. So, I'm gonna just start reading this. I called this course Exiting the Matrix because the Matrix is a social construct that society willingly agrees to because that is what they know. We have been programmed to conform to a structure that is obviously not working. Anyone going outside of the norm is frowned upon and judged. Yet, people do have the right to be informed, and that's why I'm doing this. and make their own decisions about what they want to do with their lives. The matrix includes ideologies, belief systems, and ideals that individuals experience in various forms. For example, social, religious, governmental, entertainment, parental, educational, global entities impact our life experiences. Having ideals is necessary to reach your goals, but when others' ideals interfere with what is truly important to you, that can hold you back from attaining self-actualization. One way you can exit the matrix is by buying a tiny house. People see how valueless and stressful owning a huge house can be, so they simplify life and have more time to live, which lessens the burden of having to work more, as it costs way more or less to maintain. Okay, here's a key aspect. Socialization is a process. There are many ways that we become socialized to a certain belief or way of life. We are impacted every day by our parents, television programming, the media, our peers, our elders, etc., to conform to ideals and standards that they have been so socialized to adhere to. Whereas this educational course focuses on empowering you to understand, acknowledge, and adjust your views to be in alignment with your true self. The goal is for each of us to be true to ourselves so that we live the life we want to live without hurting ourselves, others, or the earth. Ask questions about your socialization. In this course, exiting the matrix means exiting the societal norms and constructs that pervade our everyday existence. And to an extreme, one might go live in the wilderness alone. For example, when and why did society dictate that we must work 9 to 5 for 40 hours a week? When and why did going to college become the norm after high school? When and why was public school initiated? When, why, and who invented the damn alarm clock? Because I hate it. What are some questions you've had that are not in alignment with your true self? When we are born, we are subject to the norms, constructs, ideologies, expectations, and ways of being in the society in which we live. So our home environment, neighborhood, county, city, state, country, social groups, educational, work environments, etc., all play a role in our socialization process. When you exit the matrix, you are recreating a new matrix that you want to exist in, one that reflects your true values. I'm going to just hold for a second because I just thought of something to add here, because let's see what example. I have one example, but I'm not sure I want to tell you that one. Well, it's kind of funny. There's a community, and I'm not even looking it up right now, but they basically, it's a whole community, like a tribe or something. I want to say in India. They worship the phallic symbol, okay? And they're all over. Not just like how buildings are standing tall and erect, but the actual body member idolized, okay? That is their culture. Here's another social construction. And these things, I believe I put them in here, but I'm just sharing now because it has to do with that. But basically, there is another tribe or community where it's a maternal like order. So instead of like right now, we like in America, it's the man, or traditional. The man is the one who goes to work, and the women are the ones that stay home. Da da da. Well, over there where they live, and I can't remember the name of them either, but they have roles reversed. The woman is the one that's providing, and he is the one staying home with the kids. So we are literally subject to wherever we're born, and then we become like everybody else around us, because that's what's normal. Okay, sometimes we never even look for another way of being. As an example, the book The Future of Religion, Secularization, Revival, and the Cult Formation states, survey studies show that the great majority of Americans, and I'm gonna say that this is probably true everywhere, that if you're raised in a particular denomination, that you remain a member of that denomination when you become an adult. So can you see how one socialization process can impact whether they stay in a religion they were raised in, or how it would impact you to follow the norms of the social constructs that you were raised in? So these are thought-provoking questions. And you don't have to change anything. It's just about you finding your true self, because we see people not being true to themselves, being scattered, or, the black sheep. Well, maybe that's because whatever social construction they were raised in doesn't sit true with them, but they'd have no power, or think they have no power, because once you, like, become that black sheep, then you're ostracized, and that is very difficult to experience. So, okay, now there are higher level matrices. There are levels of or dimensions in the matrix, or levels of development, for example. This course focuses on personal matrices that we have the most control over, like how we feel about ourselves, what we believe in, how we want to live and provide for our families, ourselves and our family, experiences we want to have, who we want to become, who we want in our life and not in our life, and breaking free from labels and limiting beliefs. The key is that people are waking up to the reality that we do not have to do things the way they have always been done. By challenging and changing our personal matrix, we will be better equipped to focus on the next level of exiting the matrix, which would include correcting systems in our community, governments, education, nutrition, etc., 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 etc. Sustainability would include topics like genetically modified organisms, which are impacting the whole food industry, and hazardous additives that are being added to our food that's literally harming us. So if you don't know anything about GMOs, it would be important to do research about them, because it has everything to do with controlling our food sources. For example, using GMOs changes the genetic structure of oranges to remove the seeds. Removing seeds from whole foods takes away the ability to have the seeds from the orange for replanting, as well as the nutritional value of the seed itself. Also, what effects do GMOs have on the body? Something particularly important to research. You only have one body. Many topics like this are considered conspiracy theories, but there is so much evidence showing how bad GMOs are. Hazardous additives, and now bioengineered foods, and trying to grow meat. For now, we're focusing on the whole person, because when you are in alignment with your true self, you will have time to research and address major issues in society that you feel strongly about, because there are so many. It's up to each of us to become informed, take action, and live our lives on our terms without harming each other or the earth. We need to be the change that we want to see in the world. And do you know who said that? Gandhi. So, hi. Maximus Marcel. So now we need to deprogram ourselves, because this course is designed to guide you to explore and to break through invisible barriers that are holding you back. You do not have to adhere to my worldview. I know that's backward. This is a course that I wrote to help people in the world and make the world a better place. And I'm on chapter 1. Since most educational systems in the U.S. do not consider the whole person in their educational programming, this course fills in the gaps that your parents, teachers, textbooks, human or religious leaders, political leaders, etc. didn't teach you that you have the human right to know. Socialization processes can be positive and negative, yet this is a safe place for you to consider all of the facts to come to your own conclusions on various matters that mean the most to you as an individual. The goal is to empower you to envision and create the life you want to live. Ask yourself why you believe what you do and why you do what you do so that you can feel confident in your beliefs and be your true self. Your current beliefs will be challenged to assist you on your journey towards self-actualization. And by the end of this course, the intent is that you will feel liberated and empowered to go forward with confidence, knowing that you have all of the information and tools necessary for real, personal transformation and success. That is the end of that section. Next week, I'm going to get into the core self-inventory, which is a tool that I created for myself in 2009. I had an amazing experience, like an out-of-body experience, and at the time I was an inactive Jehovah's Witness, and I am no longer a Jehovah's Witness, but when I was basically what happened was my kids were coming home and going, "You're gonna die at Armageddon." And so I just started praying and meditating, talking to the God I've always talked to since I was a child. And I surrendered. I'm just like, who are you? What is real? I give in, I give up, whatever, just guide me. And all of a sudden, like my eyes were closed and I'm laying down with my eyes closed and I'm praying, meditating, whatever. And all of a sudden I'm filled with the brightest light ever. Like this had never happened to me before. Like I felt like I was getting downloads. Like literally I felt like my entire body was rejuvenated internally, cellularly. And then I had a vision of being brought before a throne with a king and like 2 angels on the side, and there were no words. It was an overwhelming feeling of love and acceptance. And in that moment, I was so empowered, and I was filled with Holy Spirit. Whatever you want to call it, that led me on to a journey of trying to figure out, okay, if it wasn't Holy Spirit, what was it? And that brought me to transcendental meditation, Reiki, Nirvana, the Kundalini awakening, the crown chakra, all of these different religious and spiritual teachings are all, even Christianity, Holy Spirit, all of them are bringing people to the same conclusion of this light that is universal love, that is like, if you're a Christian, understand it this way. Jesus Christ Jesus Christ was emanating that light from inside of him, okay? And to be a Christian means that you are being Christ-like. You are being a follower of Christ. He was showing humans how to emanate this light. Okay, here's one good example, okay? When you're living in fear of scarcity, okay, you're out of alignment, okay? But there's a scripture that says, do not worry I care for the birds. They have food to eat. They have housing. They have clothing. Okay? So, yeah, sure, that sounds so easy to read it. And how do you apply that? I'm going to tell you how to apply that because I literally just went through it. I was worried about my finances, stressing out. And then I remembered that scripture and I'm like, okay, how can I apply this? How can I apply this? I had to release the fear of whatever's going to happen. I had to release how money's going to come in. I had to have faith in what I believe. And guess what? It literally, like things are clicking now. I'm more creative. I'm more inspired. I've released. A release is done. I don't even think about it anymore. Because when we ruminate with the negativity, it's like taking over your whole body. So having faith, knowing that your needs are going to be met, and releasing the fear of whatever's going to happen and surrendering is refreshing. So you asked me, Maximus Marcel asked me, wait, what are you talking about? What am I talking about? I'm talking about everything, because the main reason I chose education, because I went through the whole list. I'm like, okay, what's the most important thing? Well, how can we make the world a better place? And honestly, it has everything to do with each person taking a responsibility for their brain, their mouth, their heart, their body, and their spirituality. Because we affect each other, okay? Being here, being engaged, and even though there's nobody in the room right now, this is absolutely 100% true, okay? Being engaged in this is going to help you raise your vibration, okay? If you're struggling, if you're, feeling fear, anything, when you start focusing your attention on positive things, having hope, living in gratitude, there's so many ways to adjust your attitude and to refocus your attention on what is actually going to help you. Not just today, but also to your children, to your family. Because if you adjust yourself, if you be the true person that you are meant to be, based on your own conclusion, no matter how grand it is, okay? Forget the narcissistic. There's a lot of terminology out there in psychology. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and I quit because I don't believe in that industry. They did not help me heal from major depression. They gave me little tiny bits and pieces, okay? But I healed myself from major depression, post-traumatic stress, panic attacks, fear. So I just went on a little tangent. Hi. Oh, I guess no one's in here. And that's fine. So I'm going to end here. It's been 34 minutes. I've read the terms and definitions and the socialization and exiting the matrix. Is there anything I wanted to add about the exiting the matrix? So the exiting the matrix to me is like this. Okay, I was married to an abusive man. I exited the matrix of that relationship. Out. He's gone. Doesn't work for me. And another one is I was in Minnesota. I was raised there 45 years. And guess what? I was freezing my butt off. And you know what? I'm like, no more. My body feels like I'm dying. Drove 10,000 miles across the country, went back to Minnesota, found a place to go to, Pensacola, Florida, and that was a whole magical journey, which I like every time I talk about it, it makes me light up because I was in very high spiritual dimension and everything was synchronizing. Like click, 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 click. I have a picture. I took a picture. No, I created my vision board because this course, you will create a vision board. So I created a vision board, and on the vision board, all I did was I cut out a picture of a minivan with a black suitcase on top, and then it was like on a country road. There are trees, and so I put that on my vision board because I wanted to travel. Okay, so I put it away. Blah blah blah. Later, guess what happened? I started traveling in my van. But then in 2017, when I drove from Minnesota to Florida with three teenagers, had went from a 6-bedroom townhouse to a 10 by 10 storage unit and drove drove to Florida. I arrive with my family. I'm in my van, and it happened to be a silver van, just like the picture. And I'm like, hold on, we need to stop right now because, okay, I've never put luggage on the top of my car. I don't have luggage rack or whatever. But the dude that drove down there with me, he put our luggage into black garbage bags and put it on top to save room in the car. And literally, I have a photo. So, yeah, we're driving, and I'm like, oh my God. I remembered the picture, and I was like, we need to stop. I need a picture now. Got out. I went in front of the car, and I took a picture. I wish I would have took it from the back, but it doesn't matter. It was literally the same scene with a silver van with black luggage on top. That's what it looked like. It's like, I was like, that's synchronicity. Okay? When things happen like that repeatedly, I'll give you another example. I was in California when I was on the 10,000 mile journey. Sneak peek into the 10,000 mile book I'm gonna write. I'm literally at a stop sign. Okay, I'm like looking for water. I'm like, that's me. I am Aquarius, Sun, Cancer, Moon, Cancer rising. So I'm like, air, water, water. So I'm sitting at the light, and the ocean's right there, and the light is red. There's like 6 parking spots in front of me. Okay, there's the beach right in front of me, and they're all full. And I'm sitting at the light, and I was like, you know what's gonna happen? Someone's gonna pull out, and I'm gonna get a spot. And I held my, I just sat there, just like waited for the light to change. Bam, light change. Bam, somebody moved. Bam, I got my spot. And in that moment, I was like, I'm not even going to question this anymore. Thank you. I appreciate. So that is the power of the mind and your spirit. We have an energy field around us, and that's scientifically proven. In fact, I'm not going to get into that, but yes. So if you feel that this course is something that you could benefit from, I encourage you to go to the link in the description to sign up for the online course. That way you have access to the reading material. There's actually audios, and there's a podcast, and there's worksheets, and you can go at your own pace. You will also get subscribed to my emails, and also and then the other link is if you would like to join the inner circle, which is for 30 people to have personalized support on your journey. And I'm keeping it 30 so that I can focus on a smaller group. And that way the learning environment is very personal, and we can grow together. So if you understand that, if you can see that this is my purpose, like everything in me, this is what I've been doing since 2009 when I started the core self-inventory, and then 2019 I wrote this book, the Exiting the Matrix course. This is my purpose. So if you are moved to donate to support my cause, there's actually a link in the description, and I just want to thank you for joining me. And again, if you are suffering in the world, I am holding space for you. You are loved, and trust that you are, I know it's very hard when you're in a situation where you just feel like nobody cares and like you're alone, and I've been there, and it is a sad feeling to be there, but this course, just being here, will actually help you. Like, even though you're not watching this live, the fact is that if you are watching this, you are in a safe space. Okay, I actually want to create Ayla's sanctuary, a Zen sanctuary where people can come and we can do retreats and like be at ease, because that is the key to life. We are run ragged, and guess what? I refuse to allow society to run me ragged. I am a conduit for sharing my knowledge and wisdom that I've learned through all my trials and errors to benefit humankind. So, much love, and I'm praying for the world. And again, I'm hugging you with love, agape love. Have a blessed night. See you tomorrow at 7.